Hello, in this presentation I will explore and explain different hardware components that make up a computer. Starting off with interface devices. An interface device is a hardware component or system of components that allows a human being to interact with a computer, a telephone system or other electronic system. An interface device generally must include some form or forms of output interface, such as a display screen or audio signals, and some form or forms of input interface, such as buttons to push, a keyboard, a voice receiver, a handwriting tablet, joystick, gamepad, or analog stick. Next we move on to memory. Computer memory is any physical device that can store information temporarily, for example RAM, which is also called random access memory, or even permanently like ROM, which is also known as read-only memory. Memory devices utilise what is called integrated circuits and are used by operating systems, software and hardware. You can come across volatile versus non-volatile memory. Memory can be either volatile or non-volatile. Volatile memory is a memory which loses its contents. So when a computer or hardware device loses power, computer RAM is an example of a volatile memory. It is the reason if your computer freezes or reboots when working on a program, you lose anything that hasn't been saved. Non-volatile memory is a memory that keeps its content even if the power is lost. Next, we move on to storage medium. A storage medium is any piece of technology and hardware capable of holding information either temporarily or permanently. They place, keep and retrieve electronic data. It refers to a physical device or component within a computing system that receives and retains information relating to an applications and users. A storage medium may be internal to a computing device, such as a computer's hard drive, or a removable device such as an external hard drive, or universal serial bus, aka a USB flash drive. And here are some examples. A hard disk. A hard disk provides a high capacity alternative to magnetic storage media. It contains metal platters which are coated with a magnetic layer. These platters spin continuously when a computer is on, storing data in a variety of different sectors on the magnetic disk. Move on to RAID. RAID operates by placing data on multiple disks and allowing input/output. Directions to overlap in a balanced way, improving performances. In the event a drive fails, the data is protected from companion drives. And last but not least, optical discs. Optical disc technology uses lasers for write once, read many, shortened to WORM, data. The use of lasers allows high density optical discs to store more data than magnetic HDDs. Examples of optical storage media are Blu-ray, DVDs and CD-ROMs for read-only data. Moving on to flash memory. Flash memory does not depend on moving mechanical parts. This means that flash drives have an advantage in speed over traditional disks. In flash memory, blocks of data must be erased, which will allow new data to be written to the microchip. The two main types of flash drive are NAND or NOR. Their names are defined by their respective logic gates. These memory types are used as storage media in SSDs. NAND flash memory is written and read in blocks that are smaller than the device, whereas NOR flash memory both reads and writes bytes independently. USB flash drives. A USB is a universal serial bus. It is a common interface that enables communication between devices and a host controller, such as a personal computer, PC. USB flash drives, also known as nearline storage, is a storage medium that is not continuously connected to a network, servers, or the internet. This helps to make most removable media, such as encrypted cartridges or SATA drives, safe from infection by Trojan horses, viruses or worms. A USB flash drive specifically refers to the housing for the device. The storage media is internal flash designed as an integrated memory circuit, which is like the design of SSDs but smaller. These devices slide into any USB to transfer or copy data. We now move on to Central Processing Unit. The Central Processing Unit, CPU, is the computer component that is responsible for interpreting and executing most of the commands from the computer's other hardware and software. A modern CPU is small and square with many short, rounded metallic connectors on its underside. Older CPUs typically have pins inside of metallic connectors. The CPU attaches directly to a CPU socket or slot on the motherboard. The CPU is inserted into the socket pin side down, and a small lever helps to then secure it. Displays. A display is a computer output device, surface and projecting mechanism that shows text and often graphic images to the computer user using a cathode ray tube, CRT, liquid crystal display, LCD, light emitting diode, gas plasma or other image projection. Connectivity. This is a term for connecting devices to each other in order to transfer data back and forth. It often refers to the network connections between bridges, routers, switches, and gateways, as well as backbone networks. Computers can be connected through Ethernet cables which connect to the Ethernet port. Connecting hardware such as a router has Ethernet ports. Connections between computers on a network can be wired or wireless. Networking hardware. Computers need networking hardware in order to connect to each other. Routers, hubs, switches, and bridges are all pieces of networking equipment that can perform slightly different tasks. Networking hardware, also known as network equipment or computer networking devices, are physical devices that are required for communication and interaction between devices on a computer network. They are specifically mediate data in a computer network. Graphic processor. A graphics processor unit, GPU, is a programmable logic chip specialised for display functions. The GPU renders images, animations, and video for the computer screen. GPUs are located on plug-in cards in a chipset on the motherboard or in the same chip as a CPU. The primary purpose of a GPU is to render 3D graphics, which are comprised of polygons. Sound cards. A sound card, also known as an audio card, is an internal expansion card that provides input and output of audio signals to and from computer under control of computer programs. Typical uses of sound cards or sound card functionality include providing the audio component for multimedia applications such as music composition, editing video or audio, presentation, educations and entertainment, games and video projection. Sound cards can also be used for computer-based communication such as a voice over IP and teleconferencing. Power supply. Also called a power supply unit or PSU, this is a component that supplies power to a computer. Most personal computers can be plugged into standard electrical outlets. The power supply then pulls the right and required amount of electricity and then converts the AC current to a DC current. The power from a wall outlet is high voltage AC. The type of power computers need is low voltage DC. All computer parts, the electronic chips on the motherboard and adapters, the electronics on the drives and the motors in the hard drive and optical drive need DC power to operate. Power supplies in general come in two types, linear and switching. Thank you for watching and listening.